Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I don't know what time it is wherever you are, but whatever it is, we are thrilled that you are here live with us, Fan of Lamb, where we celebrate all things American Lamb. I'm Joel Gammon. I'm the head chef of Homemade. We are American Lamb's partners in crime to kind of bring lamb to life and celebrate everything that American Lamb not only brings to our tables, but brings to our earth. There's a really cool kind of storyline that we're going to be celebrating today, and I cannot wait to dive into it with you. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. What makes this really special and cool and different is that you can interact with us in real time. So you can absolutely watch this on your own time, and if you're watching this on demand, hello, good to see you in the future. But if you're here live with us, you can actually talk to me in real time, and you can do that through our amazing culinary producer who is moderating the chat. Say hello, Meg.
What is up? This is Meg. Yeah, like Joel said, let us know your questions. We love to talk food. We love to talk lamb. We love to talk, I don't know, best places to go swimming in the summer. It could be anything.
It could be anything, and Meg and I, breathe American Lamb here at Homemade. We love American Lamb. We sit around, we talk about recipes. Meg and her team test these recipes. We shoot these recipes, so we're really intimately familiar with how to bring American Lamb to life on your own dinner tables, making it really approachable, really different. We love learning from you guys as well, so always make sure to go to kind of our chat section and our community forum where you can kind of throw ideas out, questions. We're always interacting in there, and we are all here for the same reason, which is celebrating American Lamb. Do we have a lot of cool people in there? Is everyone saying hello, Meg?
Yeah, everyone's saying hi. We have people from all over, which
Yes.
just goes to, like there are lamb producers all over. There's somewhere to find local lamb near you. We've got Nancy from Florida, Daryl in the Chicago suburbs.
Love.
Nola is in Boston. Tina's in Vermont. Which is awesome that we're all here together.
The biggest thing is just whether you're going to a farmer's market, whether you're going to the grocery store, the biggest thing is to ask, is this lamb local? Is this lamb American raised? That's really important. And again, we stress so much that there's so many reasons to support our American lamb ranchers. We're going to talk about some new ones that we haven't really explored today, which is really amazing. And it's just heartwarming and also makes you feel really good about this decision of supporting them. But 9 out of 10 of these American lamb ranchers are family farms. And so when you're supporting this amazing product, you're also supporting these incredible families that are the backbone of America. So lots to feel good about. Today we're going to make something that I think most people, I can tell you right now, I have never actually made this dish. We've tested this, so I guess in that way we've made it. But I've made very similar dishes to it, and I'm really excited to kind of dive in together with you guys. And kind of learn it and explore it and kind of do it in real time. And typically with dishes here I've cooked a million times over, it's kind of fun to do one as a chef and kind of, work it through with you guys. And I think that's the part about cooking and about cooking live that's so different. So we're making Arayes, and this is a Lebanese street food. And this is little pita pockets stuffed with ground lamb, spiced ground lamb. And what I love about this as we were testing it and exploring it is it saves you a lot of dishes and a lot of time. It's like, the best way I can explain it is it's a Middle Eastern quesadilla. It's a bad thing, but it's a good way to kind of put it, right? I mean, it's not bad. That is a good comp. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, it's like a burger meets a quesadilla meets like kofta. It's
Yes.
like everything good.
Oh my gosh, and what happens is as you griddle these, the lamb fat and the juices just kind of seep into the bread, making it incredibly succulent. And again, that perfect kind of lamb balance of that sweet fat, not overly fatty, not overly gamey, just that really mellow, beautiful American lamb flavor. So here's how we started out. First and foremost, when you buy American lamb, the most sustainable cut that you could buy is ground American lamb. Does anyone know why? I'm just going to ask you guys. We go to kind of a top shot right here. You can see with really good lamb, and as you pick it out at the grocery store, you're looking for kind of that rosy pink, little freckles of fat. Again, when you kind of compare this to other proteins, the fat doesn't overwhelm the meat. And this is why American lamb has this really buttery, kind of mellow, beautiful vibe. But yeah, did anyone answer the question, Meg, on kind of why ground lamb is really sustainable?
I think we're still waiting for our answers to come in, but Nancy asked, is ground lamb a good way to start if you've not cooked lamb before?
Totally. Ground lamb, whatever, I'm sure a lot of you have cooked beef, chicken, and when you think about those cuts, you think, well, have I ever made chicken burgers with ground chicken or ground beef? Replace that with American lamb. Try it. It is so different. It's such an easy lob as kind of an entry level into lamb, is to replace one of your favorite other proteins or dishes. Maybe it's a meatloaf, maybe it's a meatball, maybe it's a ragu, and really start to work in American lamb, and you'll just see instantly what it will bring to your flavor and kind of what it brings to dishes. So while we're kind of waiting on your answers on why this is so sustainable, I have our ground lamb. This is about 1 pound in a bowl. And this is what I love about Middle Eastern cooking. There's so many fresh herbs. So we have some just chopped up parsley. Nowadays, you can actually buy parsley chopped up like this, but this is really simple, just to kind of chop it really quickly by hand or put it in a food processor. But lots of beautiful fresh parsley, which just pairs gorgeous with our local lamb. And then we've got all these spices. I'm going to go around the horn here. Richard, yeah, thanks, buddy. So we've got allspice, cumin. We've got cinnamon, which I think is so interesting. So many meats could not play well with cinnamon. Lamb loves that sweet note that some of these spices bring. Again, you put cinnamon with other meats, it just doesn't kind of pair as well. So that sweet spice works great with the lamb. We've got paprika, cayenne, and some black pepper. If you're at home and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have paprika, or I have coriander but not cumin, mix and match. Don't feel like you need these exact spices. If you don't have one, still rock out this dish. If all you have is salt and pepper, this is still going to be amazing. So don't feel like you need to have like all the spices in the spice drawer to make this Arayes work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shake these spices in. Any feedback yet, Meg, from our group?
Well, we have some couple answers to your question.
Yes.
Patricia said, is it because you use parts of lamb that are not as popular as chops? And Judith said, ground comes from different areas, so no waste.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's exactly right. You guys nailed it. So I think that freaks people out as they're like, oh, ground lamb, is that like the weird parts of the lamb? Not at all. This is the trim of things that we're used to, like the chops, the shoulders, right? The legs, lamb legs. This is just the trim, and it really helps our farmers utilize the entire animal and let nothing go to waste. So when you think about, ground lamb, it's the most economical, it's so versatile, and again, it's really thoughtful when you think about kind of whole animal utilization and making the most of what our hard ranchers are doing. So, all right, shook those spices in. I'm going to take garlic, and I'm going to actually grate it with a microplane. If you guys don't have a microplane at home, this costs like $12 on Amazon. Richard, can we just get close? There we go. It's awesome for chocolate and cheese, but I love it for things like garlic because it kind of just pulverizes it instantly. You don't even have to chop it. And check this out. You guys can kind of see it makes this really thin, kind of gorgeous paste. So I kind of slap that in there. We've got some chopped onions. And this is really different and important, but we've got tomato paste. Tomato paste is different than tomato sauce. I studied in Italy. I actually saw them make tomato paste. It's crazy. They take tomato sauce, which is basically just crushed tomatoes, and they like lay it out on this big table under the sun. And they just wait for like 3-4 days. And what happens is the sun just starts to evaporate the water, and they get really dry and concentrated. What you're left with is this paste that is like brick red, so unbelievably tomatoey. And no one is going to know that this is what's in here, but it acts as kind of this binder and kind of flavor enhancer that's super umami, which is just that really kind of crave-worthy taste that we all have. And that just kind of dances through our local lamb, and then you just kind of get in there and you just go to town. And this is the part of cooking that I just love. I don't know. I love getting dirty. I love kind of making a mess. I love using all my senses. I can already smell the cinnamon, the onions, and you can see the tomato paste just kind of melting and kind of coloring our local lamb. This looks incredible. Isn't this kind of fun?
Yeah, that tomato paste too, as it cooks, it's going to kind of color the pita and like just give it a really appetizing color.
100%.
It's nice.
Yep, 100%. And one thing to note is like when you're making meatballs or meatloaf, or if you're doing this Arayes like we're doing today, try not to like sit here forever and do this. It does feel fun. It's like Play-Doh for grown-ups, but you don't want to just sit here working it all day, because what's going to happen is your fingers and your hands, they're warm, and the fat will start to melt in the lamb, and that kind of makes it a little bit tough. So just kind of bring it together and then call it a day. And this is looking really nice. So as long as it's kind of together, that's looking great. By the way, this baked up into like a little meatloaf would be awesome. Just calling that out. All right, so this is where it gets really cool, really interesting. And again, for a weeknight meal, something a little bit different, I think this is so genius. And I love when you take street foods or like foods that are really normal from other cultures, in this case Lebanon, and making it kind of normal for us, which I love. So you grab a pita, right, with a little pocket in it. You do not need an ice cream scoop. Just grab a spoon or something, and just kind of right inside. Okay, and then you take this mixture. You might need a little bit more, and you kind of just press. And you're looking for like maybe half an inch. Look at that. This is why Meg said it's kind of like a burger meets kofta meets a meatball.
Yeah.
But like, check that out, right? And you could easily prep these a couple days ahead of time. Don't feel like you have to kind of rock them all out the day that actual day that you're cooking it. So let's do it again. I'm gonna grab a lot of my local lamb mixture. It goes right into my pita. And you can kind of sense as it goes in how much you need. If it rips a little bit, don't you worry. It's going to totally griddle and be awesome. And just kind of press that in. And I think this is just one of those genius dishes that have probably been around for centuries that none of us have really cooked before. But if you think about why this makes so much sense, you're not cooking the lamb separate, so you don't have to get a whole other pan dirty or anything like that. It's all being cooked inside the pita. The pita is just like, it's like a sponge. It's just like all that lamb fat, all that spice, all those juices just kind of soak into the pita. And it's just like a one-hit wonder. It's just this one, like, you don't need much else except for your hands, a pita, and a good hot griddle. This would be, really fun for camping. We're actually, as a team, going out camping in the wilderness as kind of like a little team retreat. This would kind of be amazing. Mm-hmm. Not that we should do it, but I'm just saying it does kind of sound amazing. We are cooking the lamb that day. We're all obsessed with local lamb. This is awesome.
And if you're firing up the grill, you could totally do these on the grill.
Yes. Well, here's
a little
thing.
char on them would be awesome.
Meg, I don't know about you and everyone else in the chat, but like, we're in the middle of summer. We've gotten invited to a lot of people's homes for barbecues and things like that. And it kind of feels like, okay, it's like the same thing. Like, and trust me, I'm grateful for anyone inviting me over because no one really cooks for a chef. But like,
That's so true.
I don't know, like if you're making burgers, switch it up a little bit and try using lamb instead of beef, and try making something like Arayes instead of, an actual burger. And I don't know, just those little tweaks, a little technique tweak, a little ingredient tweak makes a big difference. So check these out. I'm just going to show you what these kind of look like and kind of what I have. Look at that. Nice shot, Richard. That looks awesome. Woo, that looks good, doesn't it? Man, I'm really, really excited about this. And again, do not feel like you need to cook them all up at once. If you want to save some for the next day, totally, totally fine. So I'm just going to wash my hands. I'm going to let those hang out. And, I kind of said at the top of our little class here, I mentioned that, we always talk about the benefits of American lamb and why it's so important to support our ranchers here in the States, right? And there's a huge reason on getting lamb on our dinner tables, but there's things around the table that American lamb ranchers are actually really impacting. We actually visited a solar kind of facility, solar energy facility, where they're actually working with American lamb ranchers in a really interesting way. We actually went and visited them, put together a little video, so watch this.
It is not lost on me that I might be the 5th generation, but I got here because of the hard work of the generations before me and the hard work of those people that have worked with us over the years. My personal belief is to take care of my employees, livestock, and land, and through them we can take care of our ecosystem, our communities, and our planet. And it's working together, striving for these goals that really gives me passion into the work that I do every day. Agrivoltaics is the idea of producing food and power in the same landscape. Without sheep on solar sites, you would see a fleet of mowers and herbicide applications utilized to manage that vegetation. Just like we mow your lawn, we really need to keep these solar sites groomed to maintain the integrity of the equipment and the high functionality that it needs to produce power. Sheep production and solar grazing creates a win-win solution for everyone. We are producing power, we're producing protein, we are reducing fuel usage, we are reducing pesticides. We are helping in that giant carbon capture cycle. That brings me great joy. I have deep passion about being stewards of the landscape. If I sustain it, then there's a great opportunity that it will provide a sustainable future for the 6th or 7th or 8th generation that may choose to be engaged in livestock production of the future. It's about being a good steward.
That video pulls on my heartstrings every single time. I think it's so beautiful. The story, obviously just the aesthetic of it, but the way that these ranchers kind of work with this solar panel facility to kind of make it work, it all is amazing. What we don't think about when we buy American Lamb, we don't think about the fact that it really helps with grazing services. It's unbelievable. It uses less fuel. Think about the tractor fuel that it saves when sheep are grazing along that grass, the pesticides that we don't need to use, the fertilizer, the biodiversity that it creates. There's so many different unbelievable positives, and I think it's amazing. Meg, I don't know if you have any big takeaways there.
I mean, I love that. I love the creativity. I would never have thought of that happening,
Right.
you know, but it's just, yeah, it's a great use of like these natural lawnmowers.
And it is one of the, natural lawnmowers. It is one of those things when I buy American Lamb now, again, it's not just thinking about how it's feeding me, but how it's really feeding the earth and the impact that it's making on all of us. So amazing, amazing stuff. I love that story. As that video was running, we kind of preheated our griddle, and I laid a couple of these out. You can see I'm taking our Arayes, and I'm just kind of pressing them with no fat. I'm not putting any oil or anything on them, just right onto the griddle itself, right? And you can see some of these have kind of torn open. Maybe I overstuffed them. Maybe they were just a little dry, but they're going to come out awesome. So they're just cooking away. This is kind of why I kind of thought they were like the quesadillas of the Middle East. I mean, this is like so cool. I love it. And it's just, again, a one-panner. So I love it. And I can just kind of already check. See, this one, this one got a little bit toasty, so I'm just going to flip it. But just kind of watch them. I'm going to turn them down just a little bit. And you just want them to kind of, lightly cook. We're always looking here at American Lamb and Fan of Lamb for that 160 degrees internal temperature. So we're going to kind of just keep flipping them, making sure they get really golden brown and kind of all sides, and they're going to be absolutely delicious. If you want, you can drizzle a little bit of olive oil, but the reality is the lamb fat itself is going to be plenty, and it's going to be amazing. Any questions on these before I move on to kind of the little sauces that accompany them?
Well, I think we had a question early on about where can you source like ground American lamb? How do you know you're getting it? And we always talk about, building the relationship with your butcher.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely. So the first thing you should do is when you go to the grocery store, which most of us shop at, go right to the butcher counter and let them know you're interested in buying local or American lamb. And do they carry it, right? If the answer is no, great, we know, we can go look somewhere else. If the answer is yes, kind of take a note of what that brand is, where they found it in the grocery store, check, check. Typically, a lot of us find it at our farmer's market. So if there's a farmer's market in your neighborhood, it might be in a cooler or a freezer, but ask them. And these are your local ranchers. You can connect with them. And I think that is obviously such an amazing way to support American lamb, and then online, right? You can type in local lamb, American lamb. You can even look for ranches near you. I've actually road tripped to a couple that are kind of within 30 minutes of us here in Seattle. And so it just takes a little bit of research, takes a little bit of questioning, but within 5-10 minutes, you'll have a really great place to go. Great question. What else? And by the way, you can always go on American Lamb's website. They have an incredible resource there.
And then if you wanted to make these ahead and maybe freeze them, at what stage would you freeze?
Would I freeze them?
Yeah.
I would cook them and then I would freeze them.
Oh, okay.
So I would make sure they're totally cooked through, and almost like when you imagine a burrito, right? It's like the meat in that burrito is totally cooked through. Let it cool, right? And then once it's cool, put them in a little plastic bag, label them, and freeze them, and they'll be good for about 3 months.
Cool.
Yeah, good question. By the way, I'm just kind of every once in a while giving these a little toss, kind of moving them around, and they're looking really good. These top got a little char, but they're going to be amazing. But every once in a while, I'll just give them a little turny turn. They look great. And if you need a press, go for it. And just again, here at Homemade, we don't sweat things like this. We lean into things like this. This rip right here, it's still going to taste amazing. It's going to look amazing. Don't you dare throw that away or not eat it. It's going to be incredible. All right. So our lamb Arayes, are rocking out. And we're going to make a couple of little dips to go with it, little sauces that you can kind of just drizzle over the top. The first one we're making is like this raita, which is like a tzatziki raita. It's a yogurt and cucumber-based sauce. Raita in India, tzatziki kind of in the Greece and Middle East. And it starts with cucumbers. And I love these Persian cucumbers because they have less seeds. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I kind of take the tops and the bottoms off. And then you can grate them or cut them in half like this. I just think sometimes it's nice to not bust out the grater. And then you just want to kind of chop them up nice and fine into like, little rustic cubes. So I'm just cutting them into like little strips of 3. And then I'm just going to kind of rustically chop them up. It is cucumber season, and I'll tell you, very few vegetables love lamb as much as cucumbers. Like a cucumber salad with some crispy ground lamb or a nice lamb chop over the top, it just works. Mm-hmm. The light kind of crisp freshness of the cucumber, the fatty, beautiful, gorgeous lamb, it just works. On top of this cucumber, I'm grabbing some mint. Right, and I actually use a lot of the stem with the mint as well. Maybe not so much the thick stem, but like the thinner stems. The thick stems are really, really good to make tea with, so don't throw these away. But the thin stems you can absolutely chop up and make great. And then I've got some dill, and I'm using all the stems for the dill along with our cucumbers. And so I'm going to go ahead with my knife and just kind of chop this up, right? And you kind of just want to make a beautiful mess. You already learned that I love making a mess.
That's my kind of situation right
there.
Yeah.
I just think food tastes better when you kind of like just go after it. This looks really good. And I think one of the parts that people mess up with making a really good yogurt and cucumber-based sauce is they just don't have enough cucumber. It's a little bit more yogurt than cucumber. So we're really heavy on the cucumber here. Again, it's more of like a salsa than even a sauce, even though salsa means sauce. But you guys get the idea. Making it kind of chunky, herby, bright. Absolutely so gorgeous.
I mean, yogurt and lamb, too. That's like such a good pair.
So good. All right, this is looking really great. So once it's kind of nicely chopped, we're at a good stopping point. While this is happening, I'm just going to give these guys another flip.
Back to our Arayes. If you were to cook these in the oven, how would you do it? What temp would you look at?
That's a really good question. I would probably do it at a lower temp, 350, because I don't want to burn the outside, and I want the middle to kind of cook. So about 350 for maybe about 20 minutes, and then I would look them. I'd probably flip it at about 10 minutes in. What do you think, Meg?
Yeah, that sounds right, and like just bumping the heat if you want it a little crispier on the outside.
Yes.
What we're looking for is 160 degrees. So if you have a thermometer, once you get there, you're done.
Test out. You know what would be actually really good now that you say that? Again, we have to try this, air frying these.
Yeah.
It'd be like a little empanada of love.
Yeah. A
right?
little
It would
like
get
spray.
really crispy on the outside. The lamb would cook beautifully. I would love that. All right. So check out in the bowl. I put all my cucumbers and herbs in this nice big bowl. I'm going to salt it. And I'm going to add a whole lemon right in. I like to buy these seedless lemons. I think they're really nice. But if you get a couple seeds, don't you dare worry about it. All right. And then stir that through. Give that a good mix. And then I've got some good old Greek yogurt. And go ahead and go right in there and just kind of fold the yogurt through all the mint, all that beautiful cucumber. And you can see the ratio of cucumber and herbs to the actual yogurt itself. You can see them really pronounced. Can we get in close? Yeah, there we go. So you can see it is kind of like a salsa in that way. And I love that. I just think this is really flowy, bright, delicious, pairs perfectly with good local lamb. Amazing. I can't get over, Meg, that video. Like, I just think I don't know, there's something about food where we've lost our connection. I'm not saying this group, because we're all showing up to this Fan of Lamb amazing community that we've built together, but we've lost this connection with thinking that your food choices don't only affect your body or your own household, but they actually affect the earth and what's happening. And when you think about supporting American lamb, you're supporting, less fuel, less pesticides, less fertilizer, all these things that I think that we're all behind, but you don't realize that just a simple tweak in adding American lamb in makes those differences on planet Earth. So I don't know. I think we lose that connection sometimes.
Yeah, leaning into also like food that's made by people who are like working with the natural cycles of the earth, like growth, and the growth becomes the food, and
100%. Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's all one amazing cycle. Absolutely. All right, so our tzatziki is totally done. I'm just going to give it a little try here. I mean, bright, herby, crunchy, delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and just add just a little bit into my dipping sauce, or a little carafe here. And we'll serve these with our Arayes. Those are going to be amazing. So that's hanging out. And then we're going to make a chermoula. If you've never had a chermoula, it actually is kind of a Moroccan condiment. It's smoky, also very herby, kind of like, this is the best, I'm just comparing it to things that we know, but kind of like a pesto, but I think so much more complex and different. And a lot of these spices mirror what's going into our American lamb. So I have a food processor. This is really good for people who are not good with their knife skills. My mom was just cooking the other day, and I just got her a new one because she hates using the knife. My mom is not a knife person. So I'm going to grab just kind of a wad of parsley right in, a wad of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, which I know a lot of people don't you worry. Just go with more parsley, go with mint or basil would be really good here. But any soft herbs would be great.
Yeah, I think all throughout this recipe, like any herb will do in any of these places.
Yeah, but I would go like, there's a difference between soft herbs and kind of those woodsy herbs.
Oh,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, be careful of the rosemaries and the sages in this. It would be really strong. So, the nice kind of toothsome ones are the ones you want to go after. And then we've got cayenne, smoked paprika, cumin, and coriander. A lot of those are the exact same thing that's in our lamb mixture. I got some garlic cloves and a little bit more limon. These sauces, now that I kind of make them, Meg, they're so different because one's kind of this green herby sauce and the other one's like this yogurt-based sauce, but they're kind of the same. I don't know. They both got lemon. They both got lots of beautiful herbs. There's something about it that kind of mirror each other but kind of don't, and they work really nicely together. It's beautiful. By the way, this is a great time to kind of babysit your Arayes and just give them another flip. I'm on like a medium-low heat. You can see this one got a little charred. I'm still going to eat it. I'm going to let this one stay on this side, actually. This is going to be the chef snack one.
Oh, yeah.
That looks really good. And what you can also do always is stand them up. If you can just kind of get them on their lip, that kind of just permeates them from the ground up. I'm going to move this so you guys can see everything else happening. That one's cooked. But these ones need a little bit longer, I think. So I'm just going to let these kind of cook on their kind of open side, which looks amazing. Is this kind of fun? I just think this is like, again, I'm learning with you guys, but like how different, how cool, how perfect for a party. It's handheld, and it smells unbelievable, like literally unbelievable. A lot of people ask us about techniques. You guys should absolutely visit the American Lamb Board website. They have, honestly, we were just talking about it, I think one of the best agricultural kind of helpful resourced website there is. It is so well laid out. If you don't know which cut to use or what technique to use or how to cook a certain thing, go to their website. There is unbelievable resources, recipes, inspiration. A lot of it comes from us, but their website's incredible. So we'll put that in the chat as always. All right, we have our lemon in. I'm going in with some olive oil. And then this is just like a really nice kind of green paste. So I'm going to just kind of grind this up. And this is why a food processor is really nice for this. If you need a little bit more, just give a little bit more oil on top. Beautiful. Look how good that looks. So different, so delicious. I'm just going to give it a little taste because I am a chef. I have to. It's like, it's just like, oh, you just get kind of like knocked in the face in all the best ways. Like it's bright, it's smoky, it's got a little bit of heat from that cayenne, but it's light and just so herby in all the best ways. It's really confusing because you're like, I don't know what to expect. And trust me, it's one of those things where if you're bored with your cooking and you're looking for your next sauce or next condiment, just something to shake it up, make chermoula. It's so, so complex and different. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to a little dish. So I just kind of want to show you guys what these look like real quick. Make sure that you can get a total visual of them. Let's see, maybe I'll hold them up to the camera. So what you have here is you've got our yogurt sauce with the cucumber and herbs. You've got our amazing chermoula. Maybe we can come right here, Richard, and get a better view, kind of side view, but you can kind of see kind of the texture of each one of these. This is more thick, salsa-like. This is a little bit more flowy and delish. And I'm just going to have a little spatula ready for those guys because that is going to get doused on our beautiful little, just incredible arrayes here. So I want to turn this around. I want to make sure that you guys can kind of see what's happening. But hopefully you can kind of get in there. What I'm feeling, and you guys can see, total caramelization on one side. The outside of the pita is soft. It's really pillowy. And that's because the steam and the fat and the juices have kind of lent itself to the pita. This is just one beautiful handheld masterpiece. Does that not look insane? Look at that. That is crazy. I'm fully bought in. Like I am so obsessed. This looks incredible. All right, I'm going to move this to the side, and I'll show you how to kind of rock this out. How are we doing with questions, Meg? There's a lot to digest here today.
Yeah, I think nothing's coming up right now. Debbie had a question about the spices, but yeah, we had cumin, paprika, and the chermoula.
Yeah.
But that's about it right now.
Yeah, I don't know. My vibe is with spices is I've taught cooking classes for my entire career, and sometimes I notice if someone at home doesn't have the exact spices that are in a recipe, it holds them back from actually cooking that recipe. Don't do that. You don't need every last spice. It will come out awesome. I said that at the beginning. I'm going to say that now. I just don't want it to hold you back from trying this amazing dish. All right, we said 160 degrees. That's really important to us, even with ground lamb. So I'm taking my thermometer right into our arrayes, and I'm just kind of temping it out, and we're really close. We're looking really good. This is looking awesome. So this thick one is at about 155, which means these thin ones, let's just take a little look. Yep, these ones are totally toast, ready to go. So these look incredible. And I just kind of press them down so they're kind of uniform. So I'll take the small ones off, put them on this tray right here, or on a cutting board. I mean, look at that. This looks so good.
They look so good.
I know.
I'm also a sauce person, so this is my kind of
You're
dish.
a sauce person?
Yeah. So, pick a selection of sauces. I might even have done a third. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we thought it'd be fun to kind of just serve these up on like a little board like this. This is how I would do it if I was at like a barbecue. You could absolutely leave them kind of as is, or just kind of cut them in half, right? And kind of have these wedges that I think look really elegant, really nice. And I just want you to be able to see the inside of this. Richard, can we get in close? There we go. Cooked all the way through, again, that 160, steaming hot. These look so good. I just kind of like a little dipping action. And then you take your sauces, put one on one side, put one on the other. I kind of want this one to come off too. Let's see. Let's take a look where we're at with this one. Oh yeah, this looks awesome. This one here. This one just finished through, cooking through. This looks incredible. So you kind of just have them on a big platter like this. And then I might grab a little bit more cilantro or fresh parsley and just kind of scatter that. And you bring this to the table at a barbecue, and I just think it's so different. And it's such a great way to celebrate American lamb. It's flavors from different parts of the world that maybe we're not used to, that we haven't spent a lot of time with, and that just refreshes cooking so much. But can I hold this up and let's just see, look at that. If that doesn't scream summer to you, I don't know what does. That looks like a cookbook.
Yeah.
Now come over here, Richard, so you can get a nice close-up of that. Let's just see if we can't.
Ruby in the chat asks, what would you serve this with?
Oh, maybe some couscous, some really beautiful herby rice. Maybe a nice purple cabbage slaw.
Yeah, I love a slaw.
Yeah, a nice, beautiful slaw. Great question, Ruby. All right, I'm digging in. So I'm going to grab one of these gorgeous little patties here. I'm going to start with a little bit of everything. So a little bit of our yogurt sauce, a little bit of the chermoula. Hopefully you guys can get that. This is messy in all the right ways. Fully bought in. One of the best things you will make this summer. Your teeth. With pita, how it's chewy? This is not chewy pita. This is tender pita. Because that gorgeous American lamb just kind of literally seasons and steams to the most fluffy, tender bites. It's unlike anything you've ever had. These sauces are really complementing the lamb itself. And that tomato paste, very subtle, but kind of brings everything together. It's so different. It's wild. Your mouth is just dancing. This is, I think, a 2025 winner. Like, we put together a little cookbook every quarter. This needs to go in our cookbook.
Okay.
That's like our top 10 favorite dishes we cooked that quarter. I'm calling it right now. I'm nominating Lamb Arayes. This is really, really special. And also, what's really, really special, obviously, is just our amazing American Lamb ranchers. We want to thank you guys for, again, not just putting food on our table, but being stewards of our land and helping our planet be that much better in so many different ways. I want to thank you guys for supporting our ranchers, being interested, being here, adding questions, adding inspiration, being a part of this community where we're all a fan of American Lamb. Meg, any last thoughts, questions before I just eat this entire platter?
Yeah, this was such a great class. Hang out in the chat with you all. I think, I'd love for everyone to come to our next one, August 7th. We are making lamb loin chops with a beautiful kale polenta.
Yes.
A little more Italian.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So
That's
come
going to
on
be
down
amazing.
to
Kale
class.
polenta. That sounds crazy. And as we go into holidays, we'll have so many amazing inspiration around the holidays with everything celebrating American lamb. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody.